Hi viewers, let us have a discussion on technology in English language teaching and learning. In India, teaching of English as second language has been one of the thrust areas since independence, and today in the days of globalization, the main problem of lack of exposure to the language has been solved to a great extent. Our classrooms are being equipped with devices that ensure exposure to this foreign language in use. Teachers or the traditional learning aids are no more the only source for the learner to acquire a foreign language. The transfer from a teacher-centered environment to a language-rich learner-centered environment has become possible just because of technology. The facilitating teacher has to decide the avenues of resources which are to be accessed for creating an acquisition-rich environment. The teacher has to master the methodology of engaging the learners in communication using the technological facilities. The curricular components of language are to be integrated with the technology of using technological devices. Now, let us understand what technology is. Technology is any systematized practical knowledge based on experimentation and or scientific theory which is embodied in productive skills, organization or machinery. Scheitler, 1990. When this practical knowledge is integrative with productive language use, the quality of the message between second language teachers, learners and users gets improved. Studies have proved that technology enhanced language learning (TELL) facilitates acquisition of vocabulary, supports input rich activities, facilitates output of language through speaking and writing, motivates the use of authentic language in variety contexts and enhances learner motivation and interest in English language. ICT integrated learning packages are available for online learning, face-to-face learning and open learning. Information and communication technology synergizes the learner and the teacher with excitement, curiosity, motivation, interest, variety, experimentation and study. Classroom tasks tap life and blood from the technology enhanced resources. Today, virtual realities, online chatting, webinars, online courses and online tests exhibit numberless opportunities for the acquisition of English language. The learner gets exposed to experiences in communication with native users through authentic texts. Technology not only enhances the learner, but it also enriches the teacher and equips the classroom with language-rich environment. The traditional discrete point approach to grammar teaching as basic to language study is not at all being practiced. Information and communication technology could support meaning-based real-life communication. The communicative approach to second language acquisition focuses on learner need and realistic communicative situations. Grammar is treated functionally in meanings expressed. The natural method and total physical response method help in the easy acquisition of functional use and vocabulary items. In the 70s, it was recognized that teacher need not search for or adopt a perfect method for teaching a foreign language. Instead, there must be only an organizing principle following which the goals and objectives of teaching the language could be realized. Technology in contextualizing teaching. The proficiency model put forward by Handley in 1993 presented 3 criteria for language ability: They are functions which are linguistic tasks, accuracy which relates to precision of linguistic expression in terms of fluency, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, context which is the setting in which one uses language. The setting can be formal or informal. The transactional setting and the theme of task determine the language being used. The standards for foreign language learning suggested that a meaningful language curriculum is woven with 5 elements. These elements are the system of language, cultural traits and concepts, communication strategies, critical thinking skills and learning strategies. Along with the grammar rules and vocabulary, certain socio-linguistic elements of non-verbal communication also form the system of language. For meaningful communication in a foreign language, the learner must be aware of significant cultural traits and concepts in the language. Otherwise, certain expressions will be unfit or misfit in real communicative situations. In real communication, appropriate strategies like asking for clarification, making inference from what is listened to, guessing, etc. are to be applied by the user. Critical thinking ability also helps him in analyzing the situation, proposing solutions and in applying knowledge of language in new situations. Learning strategies like summarizing, questioning, inferring, previewing a task, etc. also influence effective communication. A traditional second language classroom cannot develop such a comprehensive language-rich environment for the learners. Today, with the help of technology, our foreign language classrooms, learners and teachers form a luxury of resources to every learner. The unfamiliar is made familiar, the abstract is given shapes and the distant is brought near through the application of latest technological media. The audio, visual and audio-visual devices are being used to improve quality of teaching process, ensure quality of language presented, ensure easy acquisition by the learner, ensure authenticity, aid memory, set readiness, create interest, provide variety, effect stimulus variation, give clarity and accuracy, provide experiences and opt repetition. Technological aids that enrich second language learners are classified broadly into 3: audio aids, visual aids and audio visual aids. Audio aid refers to sound making devices used in teaching and learning. Tape recorder, radio and telephone voice are examples. Visual aid refers to graphs, pictures, maps, etc. Audio-visual aids are hardware equipments and media which include TV, CD, VCD, film, etc. The visual aids are again grouped into 4 types: non-projected 2D, wallboard, roll-up board, picture, chart, poster, cartoon, flannel board, flashcard, cue sheet. Non-projected 3D aids: cutout, model, mock-up, puppet, diorama, vocabulary wheel, keyboard, teaching machine. Projected 3D aids: slide, transparency sheet, film strip, video cassette, CD. Verbal: textbook, supplementary reader, workbook, magazines, newspaper, documents. Multimedia packages: when more than one medium is used at a time, we call it as a multimedia package. Teleconferencing, video conferencing, e-learning, slideshow plus radio and workbook, television and documents. Video materials: The authenticity of the language material exposed to a second language learner will influence the quality of language development. The text material can be presented as audio or video. Video text can be in written form or pictorial form. These materials ensure cultural authenticity through reading and listening. The general rule of video pedagogy is don't expect or even seek full comprehension. Let the learners hear and understand the language as chunks and not by each word. Comprehension of even certain portions of the video will help the learner develop confidence in listening to a foreign language. The teacher can check the level of comprehension through recognition questions and discussions at a general level. Ensure the following characteristics when you present a video text. Long enough to present a realistic context. Short enough not to challenge skill of comprehension of a foreign language. Assurance of specific purpose prerequisites. Good quality image, soundtrack and script. Accent, level of language, nature of vocabulary items, speed of delivery. Contextual use of language and functions. Potential usefulness. Repeated presentation. Chance for manipulating the video to ensure easy comprehension. A video lesson is presented in 3 stages: previewing, viewing and post-viewing. During previewing, teacher can make use of some stimulating questions or hints and help the learner identify important information. This will lead to improved comprehension and meaningful reading and listening during viewing. In the 3rd stage, follow-up activities will be provided based on the comprehension. The viewing task can be skill-oriented tasks, culture-oriented tasks, script-oriented tasks. Skill-oriented tasks will aim at comprehension, that is listening, reading and production, that is speaking and writing. Cultural oriented tasks will help develop awareness, understanding and integration of cultural backgrounds of the language. Script oriented tasks focus on vocabulary and structural items. The post viewing session presents extension activities related to the viewing stage. Developing script, games, collecting language materials are some of the items. Video split is an effective activity in which there will be 2 classroom groups. One group will be listening to the video text without the sound and the other group will listen to only the sound of the text. One listener is paired with one viewer and the pair is asked to recreate the script. Later, they compare the product with the original text. The Internet. The Internet expands classroom resources dramatically by making many resources from all over the world available to students, teachers and media specialists, including original source material. It brings information, data and images into the classrooms. Technology takes the role of a facilitator by making the Internet an essential and fascinating educational tool. The major functions of the tool are: by exploring the sights and sounds of the net, one receives both information and enjoyment. Learners can come across with peoples and be in touch with the outside world. Through the web publishing wizard, learners can publish web pages. Learners can do research on the net, promotes expansion of knowledge and educational resources. Following are some of the benefits that an English teacher can get from the Internet: access to a variety of materials, sharing texts, pictures, etc. with far off people creative writing, resource for planning lessons, activities, topics and references for projects, language games, authentic language, updated literary information, resources to develop reading, real-time communication, contextualized practice of language skills, lifelong learning, collaborative learning. PowerPoint. PowerPoint enhances teaching by providing a roadmap, motivating the learners to learn, reinforcing what the teacher says and helping to use graphics and other multimedia to improve understanding of students and to support their varied learning styles. Uses: organizing and reorganizing information efficiently, listening and comprehending within limited time, readability and legibility, illustrating concepts, merging text, graphics, sound, modify lecture notes, teacher faces the class, information presented sequentially. Email. Social networks with other second language learners and native speakers of English provide first-hand experience in using the language for real communication. Email is the most rapid and widely used mode of electronic communication. The message, though in the written form, gives the touch of oral communication with the recipient. The way we address, the words used, the tone, etc., resemble those used in face-to-face communication. The message could be modified, retrieved and responded to at any time. The learners who are not confident at oral communication can start up with emails. They can be in constant touch with the peers and teachers and share their doubts and raise queries. Teacher can share materials with learners. The absentees can contact the peer teachers and be updated. Email communication is economic with respect to time, money and energy. Listserv is extension of email where through an e-address book of all the students, teacher can communicate simultaneously to all the members. Teacher can provide assignments, make corrections, post short writing tasks and can even communicate with parents about student progress. Teachers listserv like FLTEACH helps teachers exchange information about texts, methods, learning resources and researches related to English language teaching. Language Lab. The term language laboratory has its origin in laboratory phonetics, which involves the study of phonetics with the help of mechanical and electronic apparatus. It is a teaching room equipped with electronic and mechanic devices to aid foreign language learning. Later, language labs were furnished with wireless audio transmission of authentic speech with follow-up activities of real-time communication. Video, graphics and internet could be accessed through multimedia computers. Thus, in an audio active type of lab, the learner can listen to the authentic voice. In an audio active comparative type, learner can record his own voice, and in a computerized lab, digital technology has been applied and audio and video are integrated. Authentic listening was ensured through audio taped dialogues from a teacher controlled console in a laboratory environment. This first instance of technology in developing oral communication skill was traced out in 1950s. The audio lab was furnished with tape recorder, amplifiers, headphones and microphones. Learners will sit in three-sided booths or carrels listening to the teacher's voice from the main console and through earphones. Learners are asked to drill the sentences, and sometimes they could record their voice and make a comparison with the teacher's voice. Thus, the skill of listening and speaking could be enhanced by creating authentic communicative situation. The content items for language lab exercises range from simple phonetic drill, intonation practice, word substitution and question forms to listening to native speakers and complex tasks like reproducing dialogue and taking part in communication with natives, the teacher and the peers. Since learning occurs almost through playway, learners will be interested to engage in lab activities. Meaningful self-correction at a self-pace ensures language acquisition and reduces anxiety. Variety in tasks motivates learners and they will be fully engaged in language use. Self-correction and reinforcement of items ensure thorough learning. High cost involved in setting language labs is solved to an extent by the multimedia labs, which need only some sort of additional equipment for language lab. Selection of appropriate software and content based on learner need is to be done by the classroom teacher. Therefore, teacher must be well acquainted with the courseware and functioning of the lab. Information and communication technology helps English language teacher develop a language rich environment. The learner can avail such facilities and engage in real communication tasks. Apart from the traditional audio aids and visual aids, today multimedia packages ensure quality and authenticity of communicative contexts being presented. The internet, PowerPoint presentation, video conferences, email, listservs, online journals and other resources make foreign language learning easy and interactive. Language labs also help in developing oral communication skills. English language teachers can enrich and expand their domain through multimedia facilities. Before we move to the next session, please try to answer the following questions. Briefly explain the stages in the presentation of a video lesson. Write 5 advantages of applications of technological aids in English language teaching. What is language lab? Mention the types of lab activities. Design 10 slides for PowerPoint presentation based on this module. Visit any 2 websites on English language teaching. Download a few articles on application of technology in English classrooms. Here are some books for your reference. Teacher's Handbook, Contextualized Language Instruction by J.L. Strum and E.W. Gilson, 2000. Hennell and Hennell, U.S. Teaching Language in Context by A. O. Hadley, 1993. Hennell and Hennell, Boston. Exploring the Theory, Pedagogy and Practice of Network Learning by L. D. Homford, D. McConnell, 2010. Springer, London. Hope the session was resourceful for you. See you next time. Till then, bye.